You are moving your website to a new host. You flip the switch, and instead of a clean transition, your site goes dark. It just stays dark for 2 full days. A misunderstood DNS setting called Time to Live, or TTL, is responsible for this outage. By lowering the setting to 300 seconds before moving any files, you prepare the internet to look for your new server every 5 minutes instead of once a day. But when you ask your hosting provider to make this update, their support team will likely tell you to wait for DNS propagation. This is a standard excuse used to enforce arbitrary delays and close support tickets. You can bypass this resistance. We'll walk through how to skip Tier 1 support scripts, force the critical TTL update, and independently verify the results. Mastering your TTL settings ensures your website remains reachable, even when hosting infrastructure is in flux. Open your computer's terminal or command prompt. When you run a direct query on your domain, you will see an output like this. Look at the highlighted number, 86400. That value is measured in seconds, which translates mathematically to a 24-hour cache lock. That 24-hour lock actively instructs the global internet infrastructure to ignore any new hosting changes you make for a full day. Your immediate operational goal is to replace that 86400 with a 300-second window. By verifying this baseline in the terminal, you know exactly what the global internet sees. Otherwise, you are flying blind and leaving your migration entirely to chance. Next, log into your hosting platform, navigate to the DNS zone editor, and locate the TTL column shown here. Delete the old value, type in 300, and save until you secure a confirmation banner. However, many budget hosts deliberately lock this field or hide it from the interface entirely. High TTL values reduce server query loads. Hosts restrict these changes to protect their own bandwidth, prioritizing their server performance over your migration needs. A locked control panel begins a predictable procedural battle with your host's support bureaucracy. Never submit a generic DNS update ticket. This automatically triggers the host's standard 48-hour dismissal response. To write a ticket they cannot ignore, you need to use the right terminology. TTL is not data physically traveling across the globe. As shown here, it acts as a countdown timer transmitted to receiving computers, dictating when they should check back. Support agents routinely confuse this metadata timer change with a server migration. They assume the delay applies to the timer itself. This is the ticket template you need to use. Notice the bolded terms. You are requesting that they update the TTL configuration immediately. By explicitly demanding a configuration change prior to propagation, you force the ticket out of the standard initial Tier 1 queue and signal that you understand the underlying mechanics. Controlling the vocabulary shifts the interaction. Requesting a specific administrative override makes it impossible for support to reply with a generic script. Even after the host confirms the update, your computer might still show the old 86,400 TTL. This is because your own operating system maintains a local cache of the old data. You need to destroy this residual data locally. Open your command line again and run the flush command for your specific operating system. Now, we verify the update by querying an independent global resolver, like Google's 8.8.8.8. Querying Google completely bypasses your local internet service provider. It reveals the true state of the authoritative server, free from any localized delays. When that global query returns 300, you have undeniable proof the host executed your command. With the TTL successfully lowered, you now wait. Rest 24 to 48 hours while the new 300-second rule saturates the global infrastructure. When moving day arrives, your global traffic will redirect to the new server in a matter of minutes instead of days. To avoid this process entirely in the future, you can permanently move your DNS management away from hosting companies to a third-party provider like Cloudflare. Decoupling your DNS from your hosting provider removes the support bottleneck entirely. You can adjust your own records and TTL values instantly without waiting for permission